What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Ari.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha with Emmy Award-winning talk show host Lonnie Love, West Coast Diva Yo-Yo. I'm journalist and producer Angelique. MC Lyte is here talking about hip-hop, her life and career. Plus, the Cafe Mocha Boutique has great new products every week. Log on, check it out. Make sure you get that discount.
On the line, we have two of our favorite actors, producers, business people. We love them. Nicole Ari Parker and her husband, the fine Boris Kojo.
And the fine Nicole.
Oh my gosh. Yes, he's still fine. We'll be married for 1 year in like 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
You know, we are starting this chic boutique on Cafe Mocha, and Nicole Ari Parker has been so kind enough to put her wonderful gym wraps as part of our chic boutique. And let's talk about it. Y'all, to the listeners, she just sent me some wonderful product, and it's beautiful, it's colorful. But first, let's start from the beginning. Nicole, what inspired you to create the gym wrap? And how did your personal fitness journey influence the design and the mission of your brand?
I was just talking about this, and it really came out of a moment of being tired of saying the same thing. Like, I can't go work out with him or take a walk or a run with him because I just got my hair done. I have these 2 little kids, and all my energy went to them and just trying to do my hair. So I was just opting out of my own health because of my hair. And one day, it literally was just an idea. Because at the time it was 2010, 2011. And I was like, why am I still saying these words? Like, there's people going to the moon. Like, why can't I figure out how to grab sweat and keep my edges laid? So I literally just heard this idea. I originally called it Save Your Do. That was the beginning. That was the first name of my company. And I cut up dry fit and super absorbent. And because I'm a little crafty, I was like, I need something to be soft that touches the hair, something that absorbs it, and then something cute on the outside because we like to be cute. So that was pretty much it. And then the rest is pretty much by the book. I had to get a manufacturer, a distributor, a business partner. I had to
get a husband with a business degree.
While she was doing all of this, what was your support and input for this?
Well, my support was the fact that she cut up my dry fit shirts to make the first prototypes. So I had my shirts all cut out. Like, she just literally cut up my shirts. But what she's forgetting right now is that we had a meeting with the Surgeon General at the time, Dr. Regina Benjamin, when Obama was in the White House still. And she told us that a lot of women in our culture, a lot of Black women, choose between health and beauty. And that was just a shocking revelation that sort of propelled Nicole into this sort of purposeful, divine direction in terms of her product.
The impetus to not give up. I had so many reasons to give up. No extra funding for the level and scale that I was shooting for. No business degree. All the manufacturers that I had talked to trying to get my first prototypes made, which you also need money for. I was dealing with the white guy in Jersey trying to explain to him what edges were. Like, I did find one though. He was really good. He was like, I got it. And so, and all my testing, I did actual testing in blind study groups. And so it was just the information, the intel I got from Dr. Benjamin, because the real thing, and I sometimes get my percentages off. I have to go back and look. And sometimes it's 60 in my head and sometimes it's 80. But more than half of the things that take us out as Black women are preventable. That's like, we die in high numbers from stroke and high blood pressure and diabetes and all these things that are preventable with 2 things, not even medication, diet and exercise. The idea came to me, and then I just had a service mission as well. And then God worked it all out. You know, I honestly know God worked it all out, because here I am 12 years later.
In this specific space, in the product market, she's number one.
In terms of performance.
In terms of performance, and she has 0 returns. Her conversion is 7%, which is 3 times the market average. No, it's okay. She's poking me under the table. Like I can say it. What? So what? Yeah, you need to brag sometimes. It's okay.
You know, because that's good. Because
exactly.
I want to say something. So I started on this wellness journey and creating this life balance before I even knew that you guys had signed up to be a part of Cafe Mocha's shop. And so I get this box at my door. Mind you, I've been going to the gym steadily 3 weeks in a row every single day. I stopped drinking 3 months ago. So I'm just thinking about alignment, and I've been posting on my social media. So I've been wearing my little headscarf. So I get this box. I open it up and I'm like, somebody's tired of me wearing my African. And I start opening, I'm just going through it. I'm like, oh my God. So listen, I am going through it. And then I'm like, oh my God. Then I'm like, wait. So she's like, did you get your box from Nicole Parker? And I'm like, which box from Nicole Parker? She wants you to wait until you open it up. Honey, let me tell you something. I did a video already. Listen,
come on.
Listen, this right here is so good, because I had to, for me, getting back in the gym at 54, it was me getting into the gym. I was worried. So I would just wrap my hair up because my braids will fall. I couldn't do this. I wanted to, when I say perfect, and you talk about life, wellness, and being, everything that you're saying is everything that I was feeling. I'm glad it's in the shop. I'm sending everyone there. I've given my daughter one who bicycles every day. And I've already started handing them out like, look what I got for you.
Cafe Mocha's boutique is open. Real Housewife Cynthia Bailey has her skincare line at 20% off. Nicole Ari Parker's gym wrap is 25% off. Check it out at Cafe Mocha's boutique.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha with conversations for the culture on the line. The latest to join the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, MC Lyte.
It is a pleasure to be here with all of you ladies. Thank you to my sister in the name of hip hop, Yo-Yo, for getting me on here.
And there's this wonderful tour called the One of One Reflections of Lyte tour. Tell me about it.
Well, this tour really is to get out there and get hand in hand with the fans that have spent years, showing support or love in some kind of fashion to me as a hip hop artist. I haven't been out on one of these in forever. Most of the times I'm coming to cities, I'm with 4 or 5 acts. I've got about 15 minutes to do what I do. And on this particular show, it's all Lyte. So I get to go down memory lane. I really get to explore the catalog. I get to have some fun with the newer recordings from One of One. And I'm just going to take them on a voyage. I tell people they need to come in their 90s gear.
Yes.
We've got, VIP packages for meet and greets. I'd like to take pictures and do a whole lot. I think I have to find and touch my audiences, because my audience doesn't listen to music the same way that everyone else does today.
What made you want to take your career in your own hand? Because, hip hop has just been taking its own road, and so many people for so long have just been sitting back and letting this new generation just dominate the history of hip hop. I thought it was so special to see you putting this concert together for yourself, which I know so many people want to be intimate with you. What made you decide to do this intimacy concert?
Well, I think all of what you just said helped to make the steps for us to take it, to say, you know what, we're going to have to really take this bull by the horn, because a lot of our other hip hop generations, I guess it's about 5 of us, it's about 5 generations now, the youngest generation, they have DSPs, they listen to their music, they don't mind other people programming music for them. I come from a generation like, we are going to put together our music on our iPods, and we are going to listen to what it is that we want to listen to.
Right.
We're not all about discovering new music from artists that we know. I mean, the truth is, if I'm listening to the Isleys, I want to hear the Isleys I know. I'm not really into the new Isleys or the new Earth, Wind and Fire. I want the stuff that's going to make me feel what I felt when I was younger. And that's what our people, so all of that to say, it's about getting out and touching the people. I did a few listening sessions in some various places, and people were out and the places were packed, but it was simply because they love MC Lyte. It wasn't about new music. So now I've got to tell them there's new music.
And speaking of new music, Lyte, a lot of artists of our generation feel like there isn't a place for us because, I've heard talk about there's no award shows for us anymore. There's no place for us to be placed. How do you feel about that?
Well, I would call that false because we're involved in quite a few of the award ceremonies. So I don't know that I too much would adhere to that. But what I would say is this is a perfect time for us to actually start again, etch a new way, pave a new, path. And me going out on the road with literally putting as many shows as I can in 10 days each month.
And when we talk about, hip hop and how, you took it into your own hands, let's talk about Sunny Girl Incorporated and My Block Records and your involvement in that. And why did you want to go independent?
Okay, well, thank you so much for that question, Lonnie. Sunny Girl Inc. is a company that I've had since 1997. It was just a loan-out company. And then when I decided that I really wanted to do business, management and production, that I needed to take that loan-out company and really do something with it. And that's when I hired a COO, who is Lynn Richardson, who is the Medea of money. But what we were able to do is parlay that and do TV shows and development of film and television and quite a few things. Now, how My Block came into it is Warren Campbell, who's a dear friend of mine. I met him. Actually, he was one of the A&R people up at the label where Yo-Yo and I were signed. But he didn't work on my projects, but I knew that he was there. We had we shook hands, so on and so forth. But much later down the line, I met him through Heavy D. And once Heavy D passed, Warren and I had a couple of opportunities to speak. I went by his church, California Worship, and I was a member by the second week. And we love music. So when we started talking, we really understood who Heavy D meant to both of us. And we kind of found Heavy in both of us with dealing with one another. And so we just started doing music for fun. Let's see what happens. I called Yo-Yo into the studio a couple of times. Of course, Yo-Yo show up with a mic in her hand already.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah, for period. So what happened is we started building this music, and before long, we were like, oh, my God, we got to do something with this. Everybody that we called showed up to get on the record. It was just one of those things that it had a flow to it. All I could say is it was God. I got out of the way and let him lead it, and we've got a great inspirational record that aims to not only, satisfy the folks who know MC Lyte, but also those newcomers who are, ready to hear something fresh and new. They all want to be a part of the 90s in a big way anyway. So they get all of that with this record.
I love that. And, let's talk about also your career as an announcer. I mean, if there's a award show going on, I got
your
to
voice.
have my
it's
baby.
Your voice.
I'm like, I don't feel good unless I see MC Lyte announcing, sitting behind with a notepad and doing it right. How did you get into that?
Let me tell you, it's so funny because there are shows that I've never done, but now that I do quite a few of them, people will say, oh my God, the American Music Awards are on and I don't hear Lyte. I'm like, I have never done voiceover for the American Music Awards, but you can let them know and I'll show up. It started with VH1 Hip Hop Honors. There was a show that Vivica and Mos Def were hosting. I was the backstage correspondent. And at the last minute, Yassine Bey, who used to be Most Def, decides he wants his band to play. And VH1 was like, we didn't agree to that. And he was like, okay, well, then I'm not doing the show. And he left. And so Vivica had her part. I had my part, but then they also gave me Most Def's part. So I think in the face of being able to deliver at a crucial time, they began to just shoot me things to do VO for, and then it turned into the BET Awards, and it just grew from there.
How hard is it, though? You do it live, and what if you mess up people's names? Do you practice? Are there pronouncers? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
That is funny. I get all my practicing done when I do most of what is recorded. A lot of the bumpers we do live, and then a show like the NAACP Image Awards, a lot of that is done live because people win stuff on the spot, and you have to say, this is the third win, or this is the second, all of that stuff.
Right.
But I'm actually headed to do a voiceover on Tuesday for the Grammys. So a lot of it is done pre, which then gets me familiar with the newcomers and these new pronunciations of names, because there are quite a few. Believe it or not, the Emmys are probably the hardest because I just may not be familiar with all of those actors from various places in the world.
Yeah, when I'm on that red carpet doing interviews and it's live, and you know me and my pronunciations, I'm like, whoo, I have to. I'm like, whoa. It's like
it definitely is tricky.
Yeah, but you are truly good at it. And I saw you rapping on a porch. What was that all about?
That's a show called The Front Porch. I guess they took a memo out of the book of The Tiny Desk.
Okay.
So the gentleman with Front Porch, he's really making a lot of moves. It's a very well done production with crane cameras and all kinds of stuff outside of the house. The neighborhood is very cool with it happening. So it just was a great experience, but it's a great group of musicians that are just doing something different, and people really enjoy it.
It's Cafe Mocha on the line. Our girl, MC Lyte, talking about a variety of things. And the one thing I did want to talk to you, and you seem to maintain, and it works well for you, is your health. There's so many of us that need to, really pay attention to our health. And I just wanted to know, what are you doing? Because you continue to look great, Lyte.
Thank you so much, Lonnie. And really, I can't stress drinking water enough. Like, getting that water in is so important.
And she's not kidding.
One, two,
you used to come to the studio with the big old thing of water and just be drinking.
I know, just ridiculous. It's ridiculous with that big old jug. I don't have that anymore, but I do take time to drink water. And then in addition to that, I'm in the middle of the Daniel's fast. So I know everybody likes a good cocktail every now and again, but it is poison. We do have to realize that. And so the more we can drink water to dilute that and give our body, it's great to have a good time, toast up to champagne once in a while, but the truth is we need to be able to get that water in to give us that healthy glow, but also to just clean our systems and detox.
Right.
Who's keeping Daniel from cheating?
Who knows? Jesus. Jesus, girl. And outside of that, make sure you, I can tell you right now, Yo-Yo needs to have workout with Yo-Yo, because the way she throw that thing out the window when she's on stage, she makes everybody work out.
Lyte's been telling me, Lyte and Lonnie are my mothers. I see you have been really enjoying this new introduction to your life, and I love seeing it. I know people who've loved you all of your life love seeing it. I love to see you sashay across the stage. I've seen you getting a little looser. Well, is it this new relationship that's making you sashay like that?
You said a little looser. Because I'm just tight. Is that what it is? I'm just tight, Yo-Yo.
I love to see, you're very private. You don't post your relationships, but lately you've posted your new relationship. And I love seeing that you've smiling a little bit more, a lot more.
You know what, Yo-Yo, that is so wonderful that
How's
you
it?
say I'm actually single again. So for you to see that smile on my face, yeah, listen, you know what? If it ain't right, gotta drop it tonight.
That's right. That's right. It ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, well, and the truth is, God has big plans for me. So I got to stay on par with where it is that he has me headed. And yeah, so I'm single again. I'm dating, and most of all, I'm not afraid to ask questions. So I would tell all the ladies right now, whether you've been in a relationship for a long time or not, we should all be in agreement that questions are a good thing because they allow another person to know who you are. Mm-hmm. Yes, amen to that.
Amen. Pull a roller out. I'm coming over.
Okay. Whatever you need, I'll be here for you.
Lyte, one of the things that excited me besides your role in Queen of the South, which I absolutely love and you were so tough in, you play a great, I don't want to say cop, but like...
Oh, I was a villain in Queen of the South. I was a villain.
But you were like, I don't want to say like a cop, but you were, the villain bodyguard type thing.
Oh, you know what? I was a killer in that. I was a killer in that. I'm glad you saw it as something that was almost positive. But.
I saw it as positive because it was a really good role, and I love seeing you.
I was getting rid of the bad guy,
especially since your personal attitude is so totally different than this character. Of course. But the other thing that was exciting to me is that you were connected with the revival of The Wiz. And I thought, oh, why not? Why not? Why shouldn't we be bringing back Broadway theater? So how did you get involved with, the revival of certain Broadway shows?
Yeah, totally. With The Wiz, honestly, that was Common. Common COO and my COO are sorority sisters. And they just happened to be talking one day, and she shared what was on Common's next page for that particular quarter of the year. And then, my COO was like, oh, really? How do we get involved with that? So they did an introduction, and we talked to the main people at The Wiz and said we were interested in producing. And so they had us look at all of the paperwork for what it took to come on board as a producer. And that's basically how it happened. Wonderful, wonderful show. Oh, my God. It was great. I went down to the Hippodrome and saw it where it first started back in the day. And that was where they kicked off that tour. So it felt good to be a part of something that was so very well done. And, of course, one of those musicals that everyone loves. And so I was just blessed to be a part of it.
And it was really good. It was
good. It was really good. Well, mclyte.info. So you can stay up to date with MC Lyte on Instagram at MC Lyte. Thank you so much for coming in.
We love you.
Oh, I
Shout out to the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
That's right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for all the continued love.
If you're part of the Divine Nine or just love step shows, MC Lyte is hosting a step show as part of this weekend's BET experience. Lonnie Love is one of the celebrity judges. Make sure you check it out on BET. This is Cafe Mocha.
We're at Cafe Mocha Radio. Socially savvy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Serving up more Cafe Mocha on the way.
UNITY, that's a unity.
It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha with Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo, and Angelique on the line. She's a political strategist, CNN commentator, a media owner, and the new owner of The Root is our girl, Ashley Allison. Hello, Ashley.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
You know what? First of all, I am so proud of you. Okay? No, because in 2025, you acquired The Root, which we all know is a very influential digital publication that was founded by Henry Louis Gates Jr. And first of all, what made you want to buy it? Tell me everything that happened, girl. Tell me.
Yeah, so I had been exploring opportunities to acquire media properties for a couple of years. I wanted to build my own from scratch, which I am doing through Watering Hole Media. But I was like, there are people who have already done that. And so maybe I could acquire some. And, God's timing is everything. I got a lot of no's. And then this past summer, I got an email. I thought the deal was not going to be mine. And then I got an email that I was literally sitting in this exact spot working on my computer. And it was like, you got they want to go into the negotiation with you. And I was like by myself. I called my mom. She didn't answer. I called my sister. She didn't answer. I called my best friend. She didn't answer. I was like, where is everybody? And then I called one of my chief's content officer, and we just started screaming. And then we bought it in 6 weeks. And I wanted to buy it because we find ourselves in this moment where Black stories are being erased. And I fundamentally believe that somebody will tell your story. But if you have the agency and audacity to tell it yourself, do it, because you'll tell it the best. So the opportunity presented itself, and I couldn't say no.
Well, I'm glad that you did, because let's talk about the history of the Root and the importance of it, especially for us in Black media.
Yeah, so it was founded the week or two before Super Tuesday 2028. So go in your time machine, go back in time. This is height of Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton running for the presidential nomination. He has already won Iowa. He's won South Carolina. So people are I'm thinking about this particularly on the backdrop of Reverend Jackson's funeral just happening and what he meant for Black politics, Black people, for this country. And Black people, and I think Americans in the world, are just like, oh my gosh, there might be a Black man at the top of the ticket for the first time in history. And they start covering it, and I'm reading it, and I am just getting this understanding of what is possible in politics. Now, I'm a teacher at that time. I'm teaching high school special education, but I always loved politics, and the Root gave me a window to peep into and learn and study. And then they started the Root 100 list, girl. Yes. I would stalk these people. I would be like, Joshua DeBaugh, what does he do? Paul Montero, all the folks that were on there. And that was really how I learned what jobs were available in Washington, that you could work at the White House, how you got those jobs. And so it was not just an inspirational thing to read. It was a guidebook for so many of us on how to move in a time of history being made.
Well, the thing is that I love the Root. I actually hosted one of the Root 100s at the Apollo. Nice. And that just tells you just how important this publication is. But let's go back a little bit, too, about how you acquired the capital to get this legacy media brand, because I know it wasn't easy.
No. So I have a couple entities, nonprofits, and look, it's all about timing, right? When the opportunity presented itself to acquire it, it wasn't the first time I was out raising money. I had been raising money for years, and I had gotten a lot of no's because the product wasn't available. And so the person, I had an angel investor to help me get this, move it as fast as it is. We're still raising because we want to buy other things. But the one thing it's interesting you ask this question. The one thing that I want folks to know, because a lot of people were like, oh, did you just have all that money in your account? I was like, no. They're like, let me hold something. I remember one of my friends was like, let me hold something. I was like, no, that's not how it works. Is that Black women in particularly don't get a lot of access to venture capital or capital in general. And so this is how I knew it was mine. I talk about my assignment right now because the capital came easier than most things I've ever done. The deal was hard, but it was easy because it went so fast. And so I had been working a long time getting ready for this moment. And then the moment came and I got to strike.
That's excellent. And when we look at the Root, I look at it as it's a trusted source of information and news. How are we going to put, Ashley into it? What are you going to do that may be different or change it, or are you going to keep it the same?
Well, I definitely gonna put a little flavor on it, and that's the beauty of ownership. Right now it is predominantly a written publication, and we're gonna stay true to the written word. But one of the things that we're really gonna invest heavily on is video, right? Like you're doing this podcast, but it's a video podcast because that's what people are holding their phones and getting information like that. So we're definitely going to be covering and doing a lot more video work. Well, we're headed into a midterm election, and then following that, there'll be a presidential election. And needless to say, there's no shortage of news out there right now that is being broken about global affairs and domestic affairs. And so we're definitely going to cover politics, but we cover it through the Black lens. So I say the Root is going to be a place that breaks news. So if a breaking story comes and you want us to break it, let us know. We also verify news because, there's a lot of mess out there and you don't always know what to trust and not to trust. And so you saying that it's a trusted source, we want to make sure that we're giving our readers reliable, factual information. And then we make sense of the news. So when something is happening like the war in Iran, why should you care about it as a Black person? Yes, nobody wants war, but what does this mean? What's the backdrop for us in our community? Why should you care about ICE? Why should you care about the upcoming election? So we're going to make sense of it. And then we're going to have some fun. We're going to be doing a lot of in-person activations. You'll be seeing us in different communities, not just the East Coast and West Coast, but the Midwest, the South. We're going to be on the road soon. So
I love that. Currently, do you have a staff, and how many, and how are you managing all of that?
Yeah, so we do have a small but mighty staff at the Root, and there's 6 of us over there, and we're going to be hopefully expanding soon to do a lot of the new work. It's a lot. I don't sleep. I like sleep. I love rest, but I have an endless source of energy. I think the thing of how we manage it all is that we love what we do. Like, I really love this work. I feel so honored and privileged to be sitting in this moment and coming off of Black History Month, going into Women's History Month. I just been reflecting a lot on the people who had to come before me. I know I got some no's, but how many no's, how some of them never even got a yes, but they needed to do it so that I could get a yes. And so the team they're hardworking. They love Black people. They love this country. They love stories. And so we manage it through love. It's like even the hard stuff there's joy in it. So it's just a privilege.
Now, how are you able to balance? Because I see you on CNN arguing with Scott and all of them. Thank you.
Lani Love is one-on-one with media entrepreneur Allison Ashley, publisher of the Black news and culture site, The Root. This is Cafe Mocha.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is The Espresso. Fox News is upset that teens aren't getting pregnant like they used to.
From ages 15 to 19, the fertility rate is down 7%, and it's down 70% over the last 2 decades, meaning we're telling people that are young not to have babies, to wait till they're in a more stable life situation, till they're more financially secure.
I'm sorry, what? Black American actors are already mad that Hollywood is quick to hire Brits instead of us. And now David Oyelowo is in trouble for clowning Southern blacks. Here he is talking about how he perfected the Southern accent.
If you take the Nigerian accent and you slow it down, you put a lot of slavery in there.
Facts.
And then you start to put a little bit of subservience in it. This is what starts to happen to the Nigerian accent.
He apologized, but David, you didn't perfect the Southern accent. I saw you in Selma switching from Southern to British. Go back and listen. That's The Espresso.
UNITY, UNITY, that's a unity.
It's Cafe Mocha.
Conversations for the culture on Cafe Mocha. Lani Love is talking to CNN commentator and media entrepreneur Allison Ashley. Let's jump back in.
How are you able to, you're balancing that, your personal life. What's your work-life balance like?
Well, I believe that the way for me to be the best version of myself at work is I have to be the best version of myself at home. And so I meditate a lot. I pray a lot. I just started a new training program. I used to be an avid runner, and so I just started running again. and really investing back in me. My work-life balance, I'm not gonna lie, the last 6 months was a little sketchy. Okay, it was a little touch and go. Okay. But I just realized over the last couple of weeks, I was like, you can't be the best version of yourself if you don't take care of yourself. So that's the first thing, is like always prioritizing myself. Like when we get off of here, I'm gonna go and do a quick run now that the weather is breaking. And then I think it is like hiring good people around you, right? Like I don't know how to do everything. And so I need to hire people that do know how to do it so that I can delegate. I think a lot of people want to hold on to power, and you can only hold so much in your hand. So having a great team. And then, like I said, I think it's a privilege because people get so upset when they like watch me on CNN duking it out. And I'm like,
I love it.
I love it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the girl that always got in trouble at school for talking too much. So now it's like, look at me now, teach. You know what I mean? Like, I was meant to do it.
We need women like you who are smart, who are assertive, who are not afraid and fearless to speak, because especially in times like this, which kind of makes me, transition into how are you feeling right now politically, and what do you think that we, especially Black women, should be, focused on right now?
Yeah. I mean, how am I feeling?
Well, wait a minute. Before we go, I want to make a point of the importance of giving people a chance.
Yes.
And a lot of times, in these spaces, Black women aren't given this chance.
That's right.
So, we get one chance. So it's like what you're saying is so important is that, you make that first appearance and you kind of like, he's Scott's over there. And then you got to deal with, haters or people that's like, it's like you have to give us a chance to get our feet. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I don't think Black women, especially in the media space, really get the chance to let their wings grow. So I'm glad that you actually said that.
Lonnie Love one-on-one with media entrepreneur Allison Ashley, publisher of the Black news and culture site The Root. We've got more on Cafe Mocha.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Cafe Mocha.
Conversations for the culture on Cafe Mocha. Lonnie Love is talking to CNN commentator and media entrepreneur Allison Ashley. Let's jump back in.
It's also why I wanted to purchase The Root, because I love being on CNN, but I also deserve to have my own platform too, and platform other people. So it's a multitasked approach, I say. It's like I don't like to put all my eggs in one basket ever. I got 20 books I'm reading right now, right? I'm never going to finish any of them, but like I'll read 2 pages here, and then it's like, that's just kind of how my personality is. I mean, in terms of how I'm feeling, I'm a person of faith, and I was talking to this preacher friend of mine. We ran into each other randomly in San Francisco one day, and she was telling me about this portion of the Bible, not the 40 years, but how the people of God were like for decades, for like centuries, for like lifetimes in a moment of despair. And she was like, I don't want to live the rest of my life in despair. And I said, well, that's one way you could read the story. But what if we're on like the last year of despair and we just have to hold on a little while longer to get to the other side? And that is how I really am making it through and thinking about this moment is, I think we're on the cusp of something special. And I think we're in an opportunity to make a mark on our generation, like other generations, like the freedom fighters did, or like Harriet did, right? I do fundamentally believe there's something bigger than myself, something spiritual that is happening in this moment, bigger than all of us. And the question is, like, can we have the faith and the discipline to get to the other side and not quit too soon? Because look, we're both in the business of telling stories, and I always say this is not how my story ends. So like, it's not. It's like barely chapter 4 of the book, right? Like, it's like one of those books I've been reading forever because I'm not even at the plot is just now thickening. So it is hard sometimes. Like, I'm not doing television this week because I have travel, and so I'm not watching the news, right? Because the news can just be like this cycle and cycle. But this is not how the story ends. And I fundamentally believe that we just all have to do our part. But most importantly, we have to do our part together. There is no magical person that will save us. We will save ourselves collectively.
Come on now. That's why I tell people, And lastly, even though you're doing all this work and it's great work, what do you do for fun?
I love to dance. So it's just like move my body, love the beat, love the rhythm. I'm banging. I've always got music, my big headphones on, just like bobbing my head, listening to something. I dance for fun. And now I'm starting to run again.
Wow. It's great to find time for yourself. But yes, we need you, Miss Ashley, because
we need you, Miss Lonnie.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much.
You.
Ashley Allison, political strategist and new owner of The Root. And y'all check out The Root. Just go to theroot.com. That's
yes,
it.
Ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Check out theroot.com. They're doing great work there. Thank you so much for checking in with us on Cafe Mocha, Ashley.
Bye.
That's the show. Make sure you check out Cafe Mocha's boutique. And while you're there, the real-life married couple from the TV show Sisters, Sky Black and KJ Smith, are not only married, they have a coffee line called Black. We've also got makeup, skincare, yummy treats, all in Cafe Mocha Chic Boutique. Until next time, you can find us on all social media platforms at Cafe Mocha Radio. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.